Ladies and gentlemen, directly off a flight, he is in a airport lounge right now, but he is going to walk us through what I think is an incredibly breaking news story in regards to the earrings that we've been hearing about all season long from Miss Erika Jayne, that Mr. Tom Girardi bought them. Ronald Richards, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Good to see you again, Ron. I'm glad you were able to get.
This
online.
is before Thanksgiving, and we're sitting here talking about Erika Jayne and these dang earrings again. But this is very important. You just posted to your Twitter account a 16-page document which has literal receipts for these $750,000 earrings. Can you walk us through the documentation that you just presented online?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna open it up. It's funny because I highlighted it for the viewers, but I think unfortunately it when you upload it, it strips some of my tags.
Details. Yeah.
I guess that's what it is. Okay, so I just want to look at what you're looking at. Okay, so the first document that I posted is the receipt of what we would refer to as the replacement earrings. And the reason why this receipt is significant is because that's what she contended her husband bought her for the earrings that were allegedly burglarized in 2004.
And just to remind everybody, we've talked about that before. The earrings were allegedly burglarized, so they repurchased those earrings. This is a receipt for the second pair of earrings, and it says $750,000. It's a handwritten receipt from M&M Jewelry, and at the bottom you see total $750,000.
That's correct, and they were purchased and shipped in July of 2007, and you'll notice they were shipped to Nevada to avoid sales tax. That's what the jeweler did.
Amazing. Of course they did. Okay. Yeah. Very smart.
And of course, the irony of this whole thing is there's so much tax fraud going on by Tom Girardi here that you'll see in my documents that I just can't believe, like even down to, hey, I'm not going to pick him up at your office. We could do a fake ship to Vegas. I really doubt he went to the Orleans executive office with $750,000 earrings.
Yeah, I doubt it. But the second page says it's a 7.02 carat, the weight. The color grade is H. I mean, it goes through all the documentation, all of this. The clarity is cloud, pinpoint, characteristics, extra facet. So it goes through all of these details. What is the important thing that we need to see in these documents?
Okay, well, on the first page, the first thing that is very important is you go down to the second to last line where it says CERT hashtag and then has two numbers. Do you see that on the first page? Second
yes,
last line.
137580043 and 1335563.
Correct. Okay, so those are what we call GIA certification numbers, and GIA is basically the premier evaluator of diamonds. They're a very objective company. They're a top-notch company, and they have a system for people in the business. And for full disclosure to the audience, I'm going to be bidding on these earrings to give my spouse a present for some of the abuse that Erika
has said to your wife. Yes. Yep. If you guys have been listening to the show or following Ronald, Erika has said some very nasty things to Mr. Richards and his wife. So this would be the perfect gift. And I said for a Black Friday sale to get these at $250,000, $750,000 earrings is a kind of an amazing bargain, right?
That's correct. Now, when I did take her deposition, I think she was friendly and professional. And I think a lot of the thing with my wife was just part of the fun.
Yeah,
so I just want to be objective. She doesn't hate my wife. There's not. It's just
no. We're teasing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I did say to the audience that I thought Diana Jenkins would end up buying these earrings back for her, so you might have some competition.
Yeah, I can't outbid Diana if she wants to pay $500,000 for some other earrings. I'm going to let her do it because there's a lot of issues with this. But I'm going to bid it up pretty good. I mean, it's not going to go cheap.
So we see those two numbers on the first page. Those are very important, the GIA. And then what else are we supposed to notice here with these documents?
Okay, if you go to page 2, you'll see the report number in the upper left-hand corner.
Yep, 137580043.
Okay, and if you go back to the first page, you'll see that matches the number on the document.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so like I'm going to do a little trial, like we're in trial right now.
This is
go,
great.
you can go back to page 3 and see
Okay.
the report number on there. And if you can go back to page 1, you'll see that it matches the second number.
Yep, the 22, right? Oh no, sorry, the 133555663. Well, page 3, the GIA report number is 137588043. And guys, you can follow all along at Ronald Richards' Twitter account for your own while we go through this interview. But the numbers you're saying they do match.
Yeah, they match these 2004 reports. So I just want to explain something to the audience, and you can always look at Ronald Richards and always ask me any questions. A jeweler of this caliber is not putting wrong report numbers on an invoice. I mean, that would be a massive fraud, and Girardi's a good client of his. And this is a good jeweler. He's a reputable jeweler. Okay, so there's the reports, it's interesting, were issued around the time of the alleged burglary. I found that an interesting fact because most jewelers get an updated report because they were sold 3 years later. I have no comment on it. It's just an anomaly that I usually get a current GIA with the sale of the goods. So you know that it's been refreshed. Some other person looked at it and it should be considered. Yeah, a 3-year-old report, there's nothing wrong with it at all. But I just found it interesting that the report is the same year of the alleged burglary. Okay, so let's keep going.
Okay.
When these are the new GIA reports, and they show of the same diamonds that's in possession that were evaluated, these reports are 6-carat diamonds and a 6.57.
6.57 carat diamond, yeah.
Yeah, with a different clarity. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you to fall on the floor, Ryan. Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down, Mr. Richards.
And I asked my wife the same question. Do diamonds ever shrink over time or dehydrate? And
that's a good question. That is because
yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I don't have any diamonds. What did your wife say?
She said, no, never. They never.
Okay, so you're saying it did not lose a 7.09 carats to a 6.01 carat, and it cannot shrink. So these are different diamonds.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. If they were like 7.09 carats versus 7.05 carats, I could tell you that the person that was doing the updated report may have had a scale issue. Okay, but no one makes a 1 carat to over 1 carat mistake. No one. That's like it's like from a Rolls Royce to a Ferrari to a Lamborghini to a Toyota. Like in the diamond business, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. No, not that kind of mistake.
So when were you aware? When were you made aware? This seems like a gigantic hole. When were you made aware that this? I mean, was this a fluke that you were like, wait a sec, these numbers don't match up? When did this start coming to light for you?
Well, because I wanted to purchase them, I had to do what's called jewelry diligence, and so I was, there. It's hard because there's a lot of work product here, but let's just say no one wanted to sell me some goods where there was a different than what was represented. Okay, nobody was going to do that, and so let's just say that it was very carefully disclosed, and I was asking a lot of questions about variances that there's no assurance that these diamonds are the same in the sales receipt. But everyone has an interest here. Obviously, we want to have the thing sold because Erika's not opposing them. She didn't seek a stay. And the diamonds that are going to auction are very nice diamonds, but they're just not the same diamonds. So maybe there's an issue there.
Well, Mr. Richards, the question, so the diamonds she talked about all season long, the 750,000, and then she also told Garcelle they're now worth 1.3 million. Those are not these diamonds. Like, that's what I'm confused about. She gave the diamonds to the trustee. Is she saying that this diamond is the diamond she gave to the trustee, the 6.01?
I only want to say what she says in her declaration, which is later on, but I will tell you that the only diamonds the trustee received from Erika's lawyer are these diamonds.
The 6.01.
That's correct. I'm not going to in any way represent what representation she made.
Sure.
I could tell you in response to the turnover order, these are the diamonds that were presented, and they're not the diamonds in the receipt.
which would then make sense why this weekend, you guys, when I was having a conniption on Monday's episode about how did these devalue from $750,000 to $350,000, and everybody wrote me in saying diamonds do not decrease in value. The princess cut is not, and it's not as glamorous as it used to be, but it would not devalue that greatly. And this actually explains that so much better if those are not the diamonds at initial receipt.
That's correct. That's 100% correct. So, and I was wondering why there was a drop in value of like 70%, because I was like, lawyers are not the best diamond purchasers, but I used to do a lot of criminal. I've gotten all sorts of things from clients to trade over the years. So I have a good diamond connection. So I was able to source these diamonds pretty thoroughly. And we couldn't come up with a reason why the appraisal was wrong. And I had to do my own pushing to get these certs, because these then got posted, but I needed the old certs to do a complete comparison.
Mr. Richards, is there any possible way that Tom, since he, we have so many stories even lately from that FBI house that was potentially, I don't know, it looked like his son, who knows what's going on there. Is there a way that you scratch your back, I scratch yours, where he could, this appraiser could be a buddy and just like, will you appraise it way more so we can, and it's also still cloudy how those first earrings got stolen and never potentially recovered. I mean, is there a way that somebody would inflate as a favor the value of these diamonds to begin with?
Well, jewelers, a lot of times when they do the appraisal for a client, they inflate the value so the homeowner's coverage covers replacement value. There's nothing wrong with that, but they give the high value. There's something called the Rappaport sheets. There's a little bit of a range on the Rappaport. This has nothing really to do with that. What's amazing about this is that he bought these earrings, because you'll see when we go, let's just go to the next piece of evidence. I'll show you, like there's too many checks and balances here. So we have Erika's declaration, and if you look at paragraph 8 and 9 and 10,
in approximately 2004 or 2005, as a gift due to either my birthday or our wedding anniversary, Tom Girardi gave me a set of what appeared to be expensive diamond earrings. This gift has high sentimental value to me. In approximately 2006, Tom Girardi and my home was ransacked while we were out for dinner. I had left the diamond earrings in a crystal container in my bathroom, and we discovered upon searching the house that my earrings had been stolen. As far as I know, Tom Girardi did not have any insurance on the earrings. I had no insurance on the earrings.
Correct. And if you read paragraph 10, just read that. That's the last
Paragraph 10 says, after the passage of a fair amount of time after the burglary, on a date I don't recall, but which I think was in 2007, Tom Girardi gave me another set of diamond earrings to replace the set had been stolen. The replacement earrings were basically a replica of my prior earrings that had been stolen. At the time, based on everything I knew, Tom Girardi and our marital community had extensive net worth, and Tom Girardi and Girardi Keese had very high income. I had no reason to doubt or question the source of funds used by Tom Girardi to buy the earrings. I never knew or heard anything from anyone to the effect that any of the gifts that Tom Girardi had given me at any time, including the earrings in 2007, were bought using money that did not belong to Tom Girardi or that belonged to someone else, which is huge, that last sentence.
Correct. Now let's go to, we finish your declaration. Now let's go to the declaration of the jeweler, which is on page 10. This was a declaration submitted to a law enforcement for a tax audit, and there's penalties for lying in an audit. So I believe the declaration would be accurate.
Okay. This just crashed on me because I think a lot of people are actually accessing these documents right now.
Oh, okay. Well, let me
try. It just crashed on me. Let me open it back up. This feels like a episode of Perry Mason. Okay, it's coming back up. Okay, here we go. The declaration. Well, are you talking about the $750,000 check on page 10, or are you talking about the declaration from Miss Zinzu?
No, I'm talking about the declaration from Arid Mazilian.
Oh, I, Arid Mazillan, declare as follows. I am principal of M&M Jewelers. Our family has been involved in the procurement and sale of major jewelry items for many years. If called upon, I could competently testify to the following from my personal knowledge. Tom Girardi is a client of our firm. He has been a client for many years. Many years ago, he purchased some large diamond-studded earrings from us. He has purchased many other important items from us over the years. The diamonds were of exquisite quality and very large, and it was reported to me that the earrings were stolen along with other items in a break-in of their home. The entire home was trashed, and these earrings were kept in a small cup in the dressing room, Matt. The matter was one of serious concern, and Tom asked me to try to duplicate the earrings that were stolen. I did exactly that. I obtained earrings that were similar size, quality, and clarity. The cost was $750,000, the approximate cost of the first set. I believe the first earrings were a little bit more expensive. The actual value of the earrings is much greater if they were to be procured at Cartier or some similar store. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct.
Okay, so the jeweler corroborates that he bought new earrings, and I don't believe the jeweler put fake certificates on his invoice. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know a woman in the world that gets 14 carats and then downgrades to 12 if replacement. I mean, there's like a lot of things that don't make sense. And then who leaves $750,000 worth of jewelry in a coffee cup when all your other jewelry is in the safe? Like, again, women are not that, in my opinion. They respect jewelry and they don't just leave it laying around the house so someone could break it and steal it. Okay, I think that, especially in LA, I mean, she's not dumb, and they have a safe. It's easy to put your jewelry in the safe,
especially something of that sort of value. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, these are, because what happens if a cleaning person came in? Why would you tempt people that even work for you like that? I mean, these are high value goods. Okay, so then the next page on 11, you can see the check, right?
Yeah, the check is for $750,000 from Girardi Key's client trust account.
Yeah, and he bought it in March. It was delivered in July. And I'm going to tell you, this is a tax fraud because he, on the ledger, which I didn't upload because it's too many documents, is he says it was a court cost for the case.
A court cost for the case. Okay.
Yeah. And right now her lawyer is jumping up and down that he got an unsigned retainer agreement that said Girardi's fees were greater than what the firm received. So she couldn't have stolen, this couldn't be stolen funds because they're still entitled to collect another couple $1 million. That argument has a lot of flaws, but I don't want to get too granular on that. I'll let the judge worry about that. And it's on an appeal. He's trying to bring in all sorts of new evidence. And let's get to the next document. This is a tax document in the middle of an audit for Erika and Tom's 2007 tax returns, where they presumably deducted the loss as a casualty loss. You see that?
Yep, I'm seeing it right here.
Okay, so what's relevant on this is that is if you just go down to page, let me see where I put it in there. What's relevant to this is that the following facts are true. Okay, he says, it's the first sentence, our home was broken into in 2007. Okay, where Erika says 2006. Now, I'm just going to tell you, a year is a long time, but what's remarkable about this is, are you saying that, I guarantee you, if we pull the burglary report, it's going to be after the date of when the goods were purchased. So
yeah,
I'm just saying that in law, like if you're, an audit is an important thing. You want to get the facts right. So was Tom lying to the auditor? Was Erika making a mistake when she testified? I don't know, but it's strange that they don't know when their house was broken. They had such a traumatic event of a burglary. Okay, it's just hard to believe that you got the year wrong. I mean, it's a big deal to lose that kind of jewelry. So he says she has $15 million in jewelry, but again, without waiving work product, she's never shown anybody $15 million in jewelry. Like what she's produced for her evaluation was never these earrings and never even close to $15 million in jewelry. There's a list of what she says she got. So was Tom lying then, or is she holding back evidence or representations now? I have no opinion on it. I didn't waste, that wasn't part of my scope when I deposed her. But I think it's interesting that these things got to be flushed out. Okay, so they can't get the year straight, and then in this audit, he presents the declaration of the jeweler, and if you see right above the signature, and I'll represent you, that is his signature, a copy of the $750,000 check, because they're trying to support the tax loss. That's why this is germane, because he committed a lot of tax fraud. I mean, like, no question about it.
Yeah.
He made crazy deductions, crazy. Okay, now let's look at the last thing. This, you could tell your viewers you're always on top of the latest filing. This was filed like 2 hours ago. I'm not going to speculate as to the motive.
Oh yeah, 11/23/22. Yeah, here it is, right here.
Yeah. If you look at, I highlighted it on my copy, unfortunately it didn't upload, but if you look if you just read the description of the property, it'll be self-explanatory.
Various items of fine jewelry and watches from Cartier, Tiffany, and others, including the Erika Jayne Girardi earrings, 7.09 and 7.02 carats, confirmed at 6.01 and 6.57 carats per GIA certificates on auction website.
I'm not going to dare opine as to what that means, because I'm going to let other people do that. I don't want to aggravate anybody. But okay, so that's it. Whatever that means, it means.
Was this always on your radar? I mean, like, did this just come up on, I mean, the stuff we had just read before, this has always been out there. Was this something that you guys had already been like microscopically like paying attention to?
Well, I have a big pet peeve, Ryan. I don't like to do work unless something's going to happen. And as you know, everything gets continued, resolved. You know. So when I was bugging her lawyer saying, why haven't you filed a stay? You know, what is going on?
Yeah.
You're going to let your priceless earrings get sold, the ones you love that are so why don't you be the hero and get the stay? And I was scratching my head, talking to colleagues saying, why isn't this guy stopping it? Because if these are really such sentimental earrings, you're going to let the trustees sell them? I mean, I got to tell you, I think the judge could have granted a stay. It's not a crazy request, right?
Is this what she was talking about at the reunion when she was like, we're on appeal for legal reasons? Like, was that what she's talking about right here when she kept saying that to Andy?
Exactly.
Okay, so but assumably
in the reply brief, they revealed for the first time that they would accept a monetary payment if they won on appeal. So like whatever they netted at the auction, they were okay. So I caught that. It was in a footnote, because what happened is, and again, I don't want to get into work product, but I made sure that one of the arguments on appeal was no standing, that the appeal's moot because she didn't move for a stay. So why are we trying to appeal a turnover order if you don't try to stop the sale, and the sale's going to occur before the appeal is decided? You just made the appeal moot. Her lawyer's response was, no, we're going to take the money. Well, we're okay. We'll just take the money. So he created an injury, which creates standing, which created some relevance to the appeal. It wasn't moot. So it was like a chessboard.
Wow. That's amazing information for somebody that was so attached to these earrings. But in essence, these aren't actually even the earrings that she was talking about in the first place. There's like some Twilight Zone thing happening here, that these earrings are different earrings than the earrings that were talked about. So this is still now opens up a Pandora's box. What happens at this point? For you're trying to get these earrings for your beautiful wife. What happens though? Because you're going to get a false product. I mean, still probably good diamond earrings, but what happens on Erika at this point? Because she thinks she's like winning. I mean, she went to Elton John the other night with Diana and Lisa on a free ticket. What is going to happen at this point for Erika? What happens next? Because I feel like this allegedly points to a lot of fraud again.
I have no information about how this happened, because no one thought, everyone assumed that the GIA would be consistent with the GIAs that were already listed and that were represented on the invoice, right? Why would it has, for me as a potential buyer, I want to know if there's 4 earrings instead of 2, because if they're rarer because of the name on the back Girardi, which we would get removed. But there is a value, like it's a relevant fact if there's 2 sets of earrings or 1 set of earrings. I think you need to know that as the buyer.
Of course.
So, but now it's all out in the marketplace, and you'll be buying it knowing that there may be another set that they're going to auction off in the future. Then I'd be forced to buy 4 of them.
But Mr. Richards, how did they not think that this all would be caught? That the GIA numbers, why wouldn't anybody say, yo, we got to hold back real fast because there's some real mismatching information that is out there that other people are going to be looking into that really don't do well for the case that we've been presenting?
Well, one theory based on the evidence that I've reviewed and just my opinion, not based on any admission by Erika or any other personal knowledge, but just reading the court documents and giving my legal opinion, which of course is going to be an educated guess, is that when you're rushing, like at a bank, when you have a bunch of stuff in a deposit box, because I understand, like I've had cases like this, she could have just grabbed the wrong earrings. I mean, that's one theory, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're all little diamond earrings sitting there. And if she really has $15 million worth of jewelry, it's a crazy looking box, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's and also we know that she puts them in she puts like really expensive earrings in just little tchotchke holder things too. So she's sloppy with her jewelry. So that actually could be, that's a good reason that these things could happen. It could be just purely accidental.
Yeah. And the ones that were purportedly lost. See, I always thought he's buying this kind of jewelry because, by the way, there's close to $2 million from just this one jeweler. So I always thought one of his ways he would reduce his tax liability is he would park money in diamonds and gold and deduct it as a cost. And then when you want to sell it, you could tell your wife, look, we're going to sell this one. I mean, like, again, they got along very well. I mean, she doesn't care. She's wearing beautiful jewelry. Maybe he said, look, we have to take that one back. I mean, her position's always been, he had the last word. Whatever he said in her marriage, she listened to him. Like if he said, like, there wouldn't be a fight if he wanted to put something back, if there was a business reason, and so what I'm saying is that I just think that a mistake occurred somewhere. I don't, or that's one theory, or people aren't aware that the shirts, like they read the invoice, like her lawyer doesn't really know a lot about Twitter. Like, so sometimes we've had arguments about stuff, and I just know he just doesn't know anything because he's older. Yeah. She may not know what when it's a CERT, she may not know there's actually a report that we can get. Like, there's a mistake here, right? Ryan?
Okay, gotcha.
No one would do this.
Okay, so there has to be, but isn't it unfortunate though that so many mistakes seem to be happening for her in this? I mean, like, I feel like at this point you would try to make sure there are 0 mistakes made because there has been so much of a spotlight put on you that you would make sure everything is above board, especially with these diamond earrings, because it has been such a plot point for everybody, not only on the show, but these victims that are trying to get their money back as well. Why would there be any mistake at this point?
Well, because one, he filed this preliminary opposition, like the next day it was rushed. I don't know if people remember the climate. She was shocked that they were demanding the earrings, and they were giving her all these proposals. And then there was just a breakdown between the trustee and her, and they're so like, we want the earrings now. Okay. And they didn't want them to file this public motion and hurt her, like that she was not cooperative. And so they just filed it anyway. And I really believe there was some rushing going on. It was a rush time because a lot of times it's like Occam's razor. It's like a well-known legal theory. The most obvious reason is usually the right answer. So I don't think she's, it's like there's the more nefarious reason or the less nefarious reason. That's just an innocent, you grab the wrong earring, you got a lot of jewels. I mean, to me, that wouldn't shock me.
And Bravo fans always want to believe the more nefarious reason. So you're saying, but okay. So, So just the last thing, you've taken so much time with us today. Thank you so much, because you're going to have to talk to everybody about this. I have a feeling. 2 questions. Will your wife still get these diamond earrings? Will you still bid on the 6.01?
I'm going to still bid on them because I think a 6 carat diamond earring is like a very large earring, and they will pull your earlobes. I mean, if they're too heavy, and these are very good clarity. And
sorry.
and I already told her I'm going to do it. So I'm going to.
Yeah.
I don't have to beat like a billionaire. If someone really wants to pay a fortune, I won't win.
Yeah,
But
you're not gonna. Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm gonna try to get them. But
That's very good. That's good of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so then where do we stand with like then the trustees and all that stuff? What is the next step? Obviously, this motion or this thing just got filed. So this thing, what happens in terms of does anything happen at this point?
Well, yeah, the trustee and her lawyer like are now in a locked-in dogfight. They're accusing her of hiding evidence, of intentionally violating her fiduciary duties. I mean, crazy allegations that have absolutely no merit because they didn't want to flush out a retainer agreement. And so they're blaming the trustee. And instead of arguing all the issues in their appeal, which they filed a very good brief, Erika's lawyers wrote a very good brief. They were bringing in a declaration they filed with the brief to say to the judge, hey, if we don't win on these issues, I got a new one for you. Like one that's outside the record, which is not normal in an appeal. And so again, I don't know why he's not moving for a stay. Then you can bring in new evidence. I mean, I just don't know what he's doing.
So this is far from over for Erika. Like we said all year, she is going to be dealing with some form of legal proceedings for the next decade, potentially.
I think so. I think that unless she settles, but she doesn't like to settle because she believes that all these things are hers.
Yeah, we've seen her see it.
Yeah. So I don't know the judge, I don't know what they're in front of one of the brightest judges in the federal bench. She may think their arguments are good. She may not. It's hard to say, but this whole thing about new declarations and new evidence, I personally don't think she's going to reward them because her role is sitting as an appellate judge. She's not here to take new testimony. That's what the bankruptcy court is for. So but the allegations are unusually vitriolic and nasty because he's basically saying that they intentionally had a fake hearing and didn't tell the judge that out of the $65 million, they were entitled to $26 million.
Yeah.
And that it's a lot of rhetoric for her lawyer to use. He's not normally like that. So I think that I just don't know.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it's all just incredibly fascinating, but incredibly frustrating, I'm sure, for Erika as well as everybody involved. I just find it there's going to be no end in sight. What else will happen, like to the Panther rings and all of that stuff? Because she claims she's only has so much jewelry, but like you said earlier in those documents, 15 million. So are we still trying to keep account of all of those rest of those jewels that we don't know where they are?
Yeah, but you can't just take her jewelry. You have to tie it to a misappropriation of the trust account.
The trust funds, the funds that were purchased. Yeah.
Yeah. The other jewels are from his girlfriends that they've returned. Like, unlike Erika, the not
like
going
the
to
judge.
mention names. Yeah, just the judge.
Yeah.
She did the right thing and returned the gifts because they were obviously problematic and she didn't want them. So she immediately returned them for her own reasons, and so did someone else. So they have 2 women that have returned the gift. So that's what's going to auction.
And the State Bar of California, though, since they've gotten so much heat from everybody, the LA Times, is there a greater spotlight on this to punish even Erika in this now? I mean, I know that's not, the law in the court, but I mean, are they trying to make an example of somebody here? Because, the State Bar has been proven to have done some really awful things here. In your opinion, are they going to make an example out of anyone?
No, I just think that conceptually, it's like, I'll give you an analogy. When I've represented poker players that beat a crook that was gambling in a poker game with other people's money, but my client won the poker game, they never want to give back the winnings because they're like, I won. All right.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Erika. She says, I got these gifts. I didn't steal anybody's money. These were gifts from my rich husband. Why do I have to give it back? And it's counterintuitive. But in a bankruptcy, you can claw back money if it was stolen or misappropriated. It's just like that's how Madoff's trustee got all the money back from all the people that got the winning payouts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And
Yeah.
by the way, we know from the reunion that Erika doesn't really think about Ruth Madoff. This has been so interesting and fascinating. Thank you so much for taking the time, because I know you literally are at an airport. Is there anything else the audience should know or pay attention to? You can find all of this on Ronald Richards' Twitter account and his Instagram account. I mean, I truly learned so much from this dude's stuff. And also, I do have to point out to you, for as much as like you will banter back and forth with Erika at times, you will also be fair. Like you're saying, you understand what she's saying. I think you do say fair things about Erika. You're not always bad. I want to point that out too. Like you had many opportunities and you understand that she says these are hers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can follow it at Ronald Richards on Twitter, or at Attorney Ronald Richards on Instagram. But Erika, the reason why I pursue her is not because I'm fixated with her. It's just that people are afraid to challenge her because she's so aggressive. And I've just covered something that a lot of people just did not want to cover. A lot of reporters aren't independent like you, Ryan, and they want to get her PR releases, and they just sort of cut her a lot of breaks if she gives them stuff. Like I was always adverse to her. And so a lot of the stuff I published is so the public could get the fair, picture and stop having to listen to the false narrative that she's a victim in all this. I mean, she received more money from the Girardi marriage than anybody. Over $25 million of expenses were paid, $14 million on her Amex. So it's not about whether Erika is a bad person. She just has no compass on whether she should return any of this money now that she's been made aware, looking in the light most favorably to her, of all the bad things her husband did, and nobody's disputing that. You would think she'd want to try to resolve it and cut a check. It's okay, here's what I'm going to give back, and then let's be done with this. That's what most people do. In all my poker cases, all the Madoff cases, I will let you know, most people, when they're told, hey, you were paid with investor money, we want back 50%, 25%, most people settle because the law, that's the law. It's not me making it up. You just can't have other people's stolen funds and only you benefit from them. I mean, it's like the last example is like, if your husband's a bank robber and he buys you a bunch of jewelry from the bank robbery, do you think you get to keep it? Like, come on.
But the housewives, what we know, you guys, is that they have ego, and that's what we're dealing with here. Mr. Richards, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm thankful for your interview. Tell your wife I said hello, and hopefully, I just love talking to you. So hopefully she'll do something else, so I'll get to talk to you down the line again. Okay.
We'll see each other soon. Sorry it took so long to connect, but we'd have a good one today.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it.